And this time we're going to use our bubble bath. So here's my other sketch, so I'm going to put that there. Now, I've got 2 bottles here, and I've put the bubble bath in, but when we do put the bubble bath in, first of all, something weird happens. Because it's not green. The bubble bath is kind of orange in color. There we go, it's orange in color. So I had to do some research, and I did this by looking at the back of the container, and there's a chemical here that says Bromocresol Green. So I went and bought some. There we go. And I experimented with it. So I'm going to need a little pipette here, and I'm just going to put some of this in. So if we kind of go back, Tony, to my laptop, so we can kind of see what's happening here. Now, inside there, it's called Bromocresol Green, but when I put it into water, it's actually blue. How weird is that? So there's something wrong with my water. My water is slightly alkaline. So this is going to allow me to talk about 2 different chemicals. One is an acid, so I'm going to use an acid called citric acid, and one is a base. It's all about the base, I'll forget that. Okay, so we've got this base, and it's called baking soda. Now, whenever we get into school, this is kind of where it kind of gets a bit weird, because in school, we call it sodium, hydrogen, carbonate. Ooh, I got a bit warm there. At home, baking soda, bicarbonate of soda, sodium bicarbonate. It's got so many weird names. But whenever we're looking at chemicals that we're buying in the shops, normally we'll see sodium, hydrogen, carbonate. That's what we have in our bath bombs. Now, this is our citric acid. And so what I want to do is I want to just put a little bit of acid into this at a time. So at the moment it's blue. And if I do a little bit and do a little swirl, can you see we're getting a green color? I put a little bit more in, and then we've got green. Uh-oh, I put too much in. And instead of being green, we're now going to go to our orange. So whenever we have our bubble bath, another ingredient that we're going to see there, I'm going to need a tray now. Another ingredient that we're going to see there is citric acid. And citric acid, some of you may already have eaten some of this. We get it on these sweets called toxic waste. So in your household, hands up, how many of you have tried this toxic waste? Now you might find nearly all the children will put their hands up. Adults, no, and don't. It's disgusting. You put it in your mouth, and your mouth turns inside out. It's so sour, it's really sour. And that's our citric acid. So let's put that there. Now, we've put our citric acid in there. Now remember, we've got citric acid, we've got our soap. Now, our sodium hydrogen carbonate, it's got this carbonate thing at the end. But what I'm going to do, I keep watching this here, move that back, there we go. I'm going to put this in, and then we get a fizz. Oh, there was no soap in there. It was just the Bromocresol Green and just the citric acid and just the baking soda. So whenever we have our bath bombs, oh, look at that, so much carbon dioxide being made. So what we need to do then is we need to add the soap. And that's what I've got in here. So I've got my bubble bath in there. And what I'm going to do is in one of them, I'm going to put in my baking soda. So this Bromocresol Green is a chemical that changes color. And if it's neutral, it's green. If it's acid, so let's put the acid in. Oh, that was a baking soda, silly me. I know it's baking soda because it's gone blue. So whenever we're in a base, now this is where the scientists are weird again, because now it's a liquid, we call it an alkali. So as a base, it's a solid. As a liquid, it's alkali. Acids, it's just acids, solid or liquid. Right, move that little cup out of the way. So when we put our citric acid in, we're going to get that lovely orange color. So just using the bubble bath, we can look at these wonderful color changes. Now, Watch this. We've got the soap in there. We've got we've got our baking soda. We've got our citric acid. We're going to make that gas carbon dioxide, and this time it's going to, whoa, it's going to get trapped in those bubbles, and we make foam. Isn't that amazing? Now, if I'm driving down the road in my van and I want to go left or right, let's shout out. What do I switch on so everyone knows I'm turning left or right? Yeah, indicators. And that's what we call these chemicals. They're called indicators. And they indicate to me if I've got an acid or an alkali base. So that's quite good. So I'm going to tidy my mess up here. Right, now if we want to make a bath bomb, then we're going to mix these chemicals, the citric acid and the baking soda together. Now, because this reaction is really fast, we also put in some corn flour to slow the reaction down. And then we put in some nice smells. So kind of when all the smells kind of go around, and sometimes we can put in oils. But again, that's just the premise of us making a bath bomb.